Hey guys, Steve Welch here, Beaman Toyota again. As always, I'm going to address a few questions that I've got from people when they start, looking for a vehicle or trying to figure out which one that they'd like to buy. There's a lot of people that are apprehensive, I guess, is the best word, about buying a hybrid. So they ask a lot of questions, and I'm hoping that maybe I can answer some of the questions that you might have on the hybrid and differences, things like that. So first off, one of the most common questions that I'll get is, if you're getting a hybrid, you have to get a Prius. Well, no, this right here is a RAV4. And if you're looking, a lot of times people say, well, it looks different when you have a Prius or when you have a hybrid. These two vehicles right here, the one on the right is a non-hybrid. The one on the left is a hybrid. They're both the same trim level, same car. Everything's the same except your drive lines, for the most part. There's a couple of differences to them, but realistically they're minor. It's if you're talking about how you drive it, how you sit in it, how they look, how they feel, the electronics on them, most of that stuff is very similar. It's the inner workings that are different. It's not really the outer workings that are different. So like I said, if you want to know on a Toyota, one of the ways that you can tell if it's a hybrid, you'll see right here the blue around the emblem will kind of give it away, and then they tend to do something like put hybrid on the side, like that. So you might ask a few questions about it. A lot of times people ask, well, what is different? Well, let me show you. So first off, I'll show you is on the inside of the vehicle, which I'm going to go ahead and I've got it turned on here but not running, which I can actually just kind of hit that button and now officially it's running. Of course, that's one of the big deals. It's quiet. Now the car will start and stop as it needs to. It doesn't necessarily just keep running like like a gas engine would. So as we're sitting here, you'll notice it'll just all of a sudden it'll just start and run, and then after a little bit it'll stop. So what I'm going to show you here, this is something that you'll get only on your hybrid, and make sure that I can get this looking good here. But that's only on your hybrid, and what it shows is it shows your engine here, your electric motor. Like I said, I'm just trying to cover the sunlight here real fast for us so that maybe we can get a little better view. So there we go. All right, so your electric motor, you can see on the wheels it's showing you that. Now in your RAV4, it's all-wheel drive. That's another question. Oh, I need an all-wheel drive. Well, great, get a hybrid. All RAV4 hybrids are all-wheel drive. But you can see the right side there, the battery, that it's showing how charged the battery is. And a lot of times people ask, well, I never see it get a full charge. You won't. You also won't see it get depleted all the way before it starts to charge. Reason for that is a fully charged battery and a fully depleted battery don't last as long. So you're better off to stay in the 80 to 20% range. So 20% depleted or 80% charged, however you want to talk about it. So that's something that a lot of times people don't think about that. So basically, so talk about a couple other questions that I get here is does it drive different? Well, the short answer is yeah, a little bit. What it is you're going to have a better takeoff on the line. So most people don't think you hit the gas on a regular conventional car, then you're going to have a sorry, I was just looking at something here, but you have when you hit the gas on a regular car, it takes time for the fuel pump the fuel to the engine, then it goes to the engine, and you get your power. Does it take a long time? No, it's done in a matter of a split second or so. But the thing is, when you go electric and which hybrids are electric at the slow speeds, when you hit that gas, you have an immediate response. So when you have that response, it's right now. So what I like to do is let people drive both of them, and you'll know pretty quick the difference between the two. Another question, and I'm just reading, I wrote down some questions people have. So a lot of times people ask, do you have to plug it in? No. That's short answer and long answer. There are plug-in versions of hybrids. Those particular versions will say plug-in, so like a Prius plug-in or a Prius Prime. You'll also see there are RAV4 plugins that are California. They might be coming, further out, but as for right now, they're in California. But there are some options for that. But even on those, you never have to plug it in if you don't want to. So you can, go the whole time that you own the car and never plug it in. So if that's the case, then great. So anyway, so that's one of the questions. And you got some people say, well, what about the battery life? The batteries don't last as long. Well, okay, so say that the battery needs to be replaced for some reason. The battery prices have come down so much that it's not really that big of a deal, and you'll save way more than the cost of a battery and the amount of fuel that you'll spend over the course of owning the car. Plus, I know Toyota, which you can obviously look at other brands too, but I know that Toyota has a 10-year, 150,000-mile warranty on your hybrid and hybrid components, including your battery. So that's from Toyota. So they're standing behind it as well. These batteries are they're lasting 300,000 miles. We have a service department here. They run hundreds of cars through the service department daily, and a lot of those are Priuses, and they're hitting 230, 260, 280, 300 and plus thousand miles and still on the original battery. There's not this massive change out of batteries. A lot of people think that the hybrid technology is brand new. It's actually not. The first hybrid was in 1899, and it was a Porsche, oddly enough. But before Ford even came out with the Model T, the initial one, the hybrid, that was Porsche, and it was a hybrid electric, and they made like 300 of them. They actually produced that car, so it's not new. Now the first modern one that came out actually was released by Toyota. It was the Prius, was released by Toyota in 1997. So it's not new. I mean, you're talking a couple decades since it's been out. So Toyota's been able to perfect the technology. That there's a reason Toyota's number one. It's just they've been around the longest when it comes to the hybrid. So definitely there. So a lot of times people worry about that plug-in for long trip, anything like that. You fill it up, you drive it normal. You don't have to drive it any different than any other car. You get in, you turn the key, it just, maybe the engine starts, maybe it doesn't. You just get a little ready that's right there on your dash, and it'll say ready right underneath the charge. Like this one right here, it looks a little different on the dash, of course. You see charge, eco, power, so it's telling you how it's drawing electricity, stuff like that. That's a little different. Okay, yeah. So, but once you know what you're looking at, all that is a guide. It's not even meant to really tell you anything other than how you're driving. It's kind of like a scorecard. So, I mean, just realistically, you're not doing a whole lot to that. So, and like I said, the all-wheel drive, there's a Prius that you can even get now in all-wheel drive. Camrys come in hybrids, Corollas come in hybrids. Both of those are two-wheel drive. Stay tuned on that. You can get a hybrid in the Highlander. Those will be all-wheel drive, every one of them. You can't get a hybrid in like a 4Runner or Tundra or Tacoma yet. We'll see what comes along with that. There's always rumors, of course, but we'll see when things land and how that works out. But minivans, currently can't get them in a hybrid, but we'll watch that as well. So now, so back to my list of what people say. The reason I pointed out all those different vehicles is there's no difference other than the blue emblem and the hybrid on the side, because there's some people out there that say, I don't want to look like a green person. Okay, so be it. You don't want to drive a Prius because you think it's a status symbol, and you don't want to make that particular you don't want to say that to people around you. That's fine. There's people that way, there's people the other way. I'm not saying anything one way or another for anybody, but if you don't want to look like you're in a hybrid, you just saw these RAV4s. They're the exact same looking car. The only thing that's different is you're getting better gas mileage in the hybrid. So if you don't, if it's not a climate issue, or if it's not a save the earth issue for you or anything like that, then you can just look and say, look, I'm spending less money on the hybrid in gas than what I'd spend on the non-hybrid, and just go off of what your pocketbook tells you to do rather than a political statement. So definitely that's something to consider. So, and there's some people that say, okay, so, well, it's going to cost me a lot more to get the hybrid. It will cost you more to get the hybrid, 100%. You're going to save more. It's going to cost you more. So, that being said, to get like the RAV4, if you had an identical trimmed RAV4, the difference between the hybrid and the non-hybrid, it's $800. But your gas mileage, you get about 5 miles per gallon better. Maybe a little bit less, maybe about 3 to 5, somewhere around in there, depending on how you drive it. But it's not going to take you that long to make that back. Highlander is a little bit different. You get the same highway miles per gallon, but you get 8 miles per gallon better on the in the city. Your Corollas, you're getting in the 40s. Camrys, you've got some that'll get you mid 50s. 52 is your combined or so. Priuses are 52. And let me think, some of the others. But yeah, I mean, you kind of get the idea. So you just get better gas mileage, and now your RAV4 it's costing $800 more. An Avalon costs you $1,000 more for a hybrid. You're gonna get a little better gas, about 5 miles per gallon better in the Avalon too. So basically, when you come down to it, it doesn't have to be a status symbol. It can, just save you money. And now you also have people that say, okay, well, I don't want to pay the extra maintenance that it costs to have a hybrid. The hybrids actually have less moving parts. It's actually costing less to maintain a hybrid. When you brake, you're actually grabbing energy back by putting a load on the motors that are on the wheels. It's called a kinetic energy. So when you actually get that kinetic energy back, you're actually slowing the car without using the brakes. So your brakes, front brakes are commonly lasting 100,000 miles, where a non-hybrid, they last about 60. So that's costing you less. So realistically, your maintenance costs tend to go down in a hybrid vehicle. So just kind of giving you those particular ideas. I'm just going to show you the car here a little bit. You might probably done looking at my mug for a while. But so anyway, so it doesn't cost more to maintain. You don't have any issues going on a long trip. That's definitely question I get a lot. You're worried about power. There's a lot of people, I want something that's got some pickup, some power. I want something that's got some torque. You're going to have all of that in the hybrid. If you want to see a hybrid that'll really stun you, look up the TSC, which is it's a 6-cylinder hybrid Formula One racer produced by Toyota. It's got 1,000 horsepower. I think Toyota doesn't know how to do power in a hybrid. They definitely do. So that's a great question to answer with just having somebody look that up. Google that. You'll be impressed. But yeah, and then kind of the last little question that I get a lot is people just say, I just don't know how it works. And there are people that have to know how it works in order for it to make sense for them, but sometimes just knowing that it works instead of how it works is enough. I'm the type of person that I like to break things down and look at them and see the parts and the pieces and know how things work and all that too. And I understand that. Test drive one. That's the easiest thing I can say. Let somebody that knows about it kind of go over it with you and kind of like show you the pieces. But the easy way to kind of tell you how it works, to kind of give you an overview of it, your engine, it charges the battery from 0 to about 40 miles an hour. Your battery is going to be the predominant thing producing power to the engine. When you get above that 35, 40 miles an hour, or let me back that up. From 0 to about 25, it's the battery predominantly. From 25 to about 40 or 45 miles per hour, it's the battery with a little bit of help from the engine for power, like getting on the highway, stuff like that. It's going to add a little bit more power from the engine. But then from 45 up, it's predominantly engine power with an assist from the battery, and then grabbing back energy as it can. The car knows what it's doing, and it will do it in the most efficient way. Like I said, it's not something where you have to actively maintain, I got to hit this button so it does this, or that button so it does that. You drive the car like any other car. You're not doing anything different. You get in, you turn the key, you take off, you come to the house, you turn the key off, you park, you lock your door, you go into the house. You're not doing anything different than what you would do otherwise. It's just a different car. trying to think if there's anything else to really tell you about it. It's, those are the main questions I get. Probably the biggest question is always do I have to plug it in? And the answer is definitely no, not even on a plug-in. So as long as it's a hybrid and you can put gas in it, then you could drive it just like a regular car and never plug it in. But the hybrid part, if you have a Prius hybrid, if you've got a RAV4 hybrid, as long as it's not a plug-in, you don't even have the option to plug it in. So you don't have to plug in a car. So just kind of, like I said, giving you an overview. If you got questions, feel free to ask them. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what the hybrid's like, and the reason they're actually really cool. So and before I started knowing a lot about them, I was a little bit naive and didn't really understand it, and that was the reason that I thought, but now you kind of look at it and you go, man, this really makes a lot of sense. It's going to save a lot of money, and you never know where gas prices are going, but if they go up, you're good. If they go down, well, you're good there too. So it doesn't hurt you. So definitely try, at least test drive the hybrid version when you're looking at a vehicle. And then always look for somebody that's been around the hybrid market for a while. Toyota has been around for a long time. So just, Toyota's number one for a reason when it comes to the hybrids. So definitely remember that. But don't get somebody that they're brand new, all new, first year hybrid and expect that you're not going to have some issues with it, because you probably will. But Toyota's been 20 years plus doing this in production. They've worked out the kinks. They know how they're doing this. So the hybrid is definitely a way to go. Make sure you get the right brand. If you're in the Nashville area, stop by, see me. My name's Steve Welch, Beeman Toyota, right here downtown Nashville. Give me a call, 615-645-3039, or give me a text. Texts tend to work a little bit better, but I'm happy to help you, to answer any questions you might have. Take care, y'all. We'll go ahead and we'll post another video here shortly, but hopefully this one helps you with the hybrids.